The out of body state, man, is it's more physical than what you experience here right now in physical life. And the best way to understand that is, through your you said, I don't know if you said analytical, but you said engineering. Yeah. Okay. So, the brain could only decode a certain portion of the light spectrum. Yeah. And so we call this
0.003%, something very slivery. It's just a sliver that we've got.
You could expand this to more. The physical body can access more. But right now, majority of the population is only accessing that small portion of it. And we call this very real, very physical. But when you leave the body, you are seeing all of it again. You're accessing everything. You're accessing the potentialities of time. You're accessing thoughts. You're accessing the true state of you. And that is more real, more physical than what you would ever experience here. So, yeah. No, just when you say what that is, that's what it is. It's very physical, man. You'll be touching your soul hands and experiencing it as if it's very, very real. And then when you go back into the body, real doesn't even feel real because you could say experienced real again for the second time, born again for the second time, understanding that is the real home, your real state. To make it very simple, when you leave, it's no different as a near death. It's literally no different at all. The soul will leave the body, and you're 100% out. Even to the point where there is a point in no return, and I don't say that in a fearful way. It's like just what near death experiences. There's an offer, sometimes give or take. Even when I was 16 years old, I was given an offer to leave at that time. At 16, I was given an offer to leave. And the only reason why I chose to come back is because I realized, okay, well, this is so temporary, not only temporary, but she showed me what was going to happen within my life. You could say the path. And that's pretty much what I'm doing now. So no difference at all there. And even so much so, there was a near-death experience person that I was working with closely. His name is David, and everybody could look up that there's a part 1 with him and a part 2, and he's had near-death experiences. He's had a heart issue, heart completely stopped, died. He's done the out-of-body state, and he has confirmed as well. So it's not just coming from what I say, believe me, but that there's no difference. And he actually even said in his testimonial that he actually had more clarity in the out-of-body state because he was doing it of his own volition, his own will, versus just, near death. And then I coined the phrase. I was like, okay, well, that actually makes sense, because when you have a near-death experience, what you're doing is, it's like, even though it's the same thing, but follow me through on this because I think it will make a lot of sense.
Please.
But when you're having a near-death experience, it's almost as if you are on a plane to go skydiving, and you are not told that you're going to be pushed out of the plane. You're giving no briefing, no map, nothing. And then you're in the plane to skydive and you have no idea. And all of a sudden someone pushes you out and you're just free falling, panicking, freaking out. As the controlled out of body state, you are briefed. Okay, your body's going to shut down. It is going to feel like you're dying temporarily. Your soul's going to leave. This is what you're going to feel. The first things that you're probably going to see is things happening in real time. You'll see your physical body on the bed, and you'll be looking at your soul and your physical body, realizing that you have made the disconnection. Don't fear, don't panic, because you temporarily have this connection to the physical body that will start exciting the cells, pull you back in. You may also see beings. Understand, not to panic. These could be what you consider guides, or people who have been with you a very long time that you will then remember. You could access your soul records. You could see the entirety of this construct, even outside of it as well. You could do self-testings. And I've done group experiments on this too, where people in a group setting do these experiments where they write something as simple as a number 1 to 9. They put it on the table, come out of the body, bam, okay, I got the number. And then, to get the confirmation in just the real-time accuracy, okay, I'm actually seeing this. How could I possibly have seen that and been so accurate if it's not true. Even this has gone as far as even Kelly, you know, because I really want to try to promote the people that are also doing this work as well. Yeah, because it's at first it was me just spreading the message, but there's so many more people now that have followed the principles and now are a part of it. I really think their names should be heard publicly to people and spread them as well, because these are people that have done the out of body state and have experienced the same thing. Kelly has her son was in the military. She's another one. She comes out of her body and then she projects herself to her son, being able to see exactly where he's at, see what he's thinking. And so there's quite a movement for the betterment of humanity, man, that I think people are totally unaware of still. And I think that this will create such a flame that it becomes unstoppable very, very, very soon, you know. And to me, you know, that gives me nothing but joy about it, you know, because that's sort of what the vision that I had of just, you know, here are the tools, here are the principles. Like, please just share that message of the other side, because that's what wakes people up truly and completely. It wakes them back up to their home, and it wakes them back up to who they are. The confusion stops, you know, the fear stops, and the fear's a big one.
There's 3 different thoughts pummeling me in the head right now. One of them is there's surely some people that are tuning in that are like disbelieving that this actually happens. There is another whole nother train of thought, which is some people are like, oh, this must be really entertaining that you're doing this. And the third train of thought, which is the one that I want to honor, is the one that is, this seems extremely important to you at this particular moment in time, especially to be shared with, to share with the world. Why is this so important?
Well, it's important because it wakes people up to their true selves again, their divinity, their home. So a lot of people are in a lot of confusion of false things, lies, deceptions that have been told to them their entire life. And there's a difference between me saying, okay, that's not necessarily true, but here's the path. This is the truth right here. And here, I'll show you. This is the difference of what truth is and what truth is not. And you could say that, but then the message isn't really ever heard. It always has pushback. So the best way to do it is show somebody, okay, I don't have to speak of it that much, but just trust me on this. Leave the body and you will see it yourself. And it will be undeniable to you that your soul, who you are, lives on forever. You will remember your true state, your divinity, your home, and you will start to bring that here. You'll start walking that path in accordance of the path that you would be walking on the other side, of doing things in integrity, doing things in love.
Part of my responsibility as a podcast host wants to ask, is it safe to leave your body? Are there certain things that you need to be mindful of and all those sorts of things? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's safe. It's safe to leave your body. And this is part of the fear stuff that's very important to overcome, because for instance, this is how powerful your soul is. And a lot of people are just unaware of it. When somebody, let's just say 2 individuals are in love, one of them dies. Shortly after, if that person has the heart is broken, that person will die, because that person will choose, I do not want to be here without that person. And its will of its soul will kill the body, pretty much. So when your soul makes a decision, a choice to do something, nothing will ever stop that from being so. It will not make sense in the medical field, because your soul is the ultimate dictator of things around you, even things in the physical body as well. You could start to command the cells to express themselves in a way of what you speak and you believe in the most, you know? And this is also another important thing. This is all this stuff has been documented too. It's not just what I'm saying. The people have healed themselves from um, cancer, for instance. So there's been studies on this, yeah, where someone is given a false pill or just belief. They're given a false pill, but they believe it to work, and therefore, because their will and their belief does it for them, versus the other person that does not have that belief. And the doctor says you're going to die in 6 months, therefore you'll find exactly on 6 months that person dies because he wills it on itself. And that's important to understand, because you, to the best of your ability, you could start to will yourself. You could start to bring the soul in completely to start to express your will physically. Yeah. Yeah, I'll leave that one there too. The reason why I said I wanted to leave it there, because I don't want to go down a certain path, even though I feel that I should, that will end up taking things out of context for people. And I don't necessarily want to do that, but I want to make it clear that the placebo effect is real for a reason. And they call it placebo effect, and it's all based off belief. Because your soul is the overall dictator of how your cells express themselves, done in the rice experiment, done in the water experiment, even Jeff as well, is just, there's so many things that can be done that you remember again, and you start stepping into love. Yeah, but.
You also said thought constructs don't die.
Thoughts, your thoughts never die, man. Everything that you think right now is contained within your field. So this is why people, when they have out of body experiences, they, based off of, if they have not worked on their fears, or you could say have control over their field, they will typically experience a lot of nefarious things, subconscious things that have been there in the background for many, many years. And it's all projected forward for you to see. And people freak out because a lot of people don't want to face themselves. And you can never escape yourself. You always have to face it, and you have to face it fearlessly, in a state of not being in fear. Because just over that threshold of fear is where the doors of this construct open up to you again. Quite literally, man. So, I mean, and that's coming from direct experience of being in fear for years myself, trying to access certain things, not realizing that the state of fear was putting me in this, my will of my soul was putting me in this confined space, my own prison, that I was self-manifesting and self-creating. I was like, okay. And like, I literally got to this point. I said, kill my soul if you want to. I don't care anymore, because I'm sick of this fear. And then from that point, everything just wide open. Halls of Amente, heaven, seeing my passed away loved one, or not my passed away loved one, seeing my passed away Uncle Bob. You could say my passed away loved one, because I do love my Uncle Bob, but it's not my loved one. Seeing the other side taken out of the construct, so it's at that point that everything opened up, and that's super important for people to really understand, because nothing could touch the soul, nothing can entrap the soul unless you believe it to be so. And it's your belief in that being so will create your own self-imposed prison until you break free from the fear and you realize that you are an ultimate authority, just like every other soul, and you could honor each and every soul with their ultimate authority and their ability to create based off their will.
There's many things in there. One of the things I wanted to pull on was, oftentimes some people have these fears of other beings, other things, entities, whatever. And the key thing you're highlighting there is it's only your fear that makes it so.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
It's your fear that's feeding it.
You could experience hell on the other side too. And hell comes from on the other side of you stepping out of love. Unconditional love. When you step out of that, you start creating things the opposite of that, which is a hellish experience.
Side or on this side? So when you step out of it, both. On this side? Or,
both.
Both. Right.
Yeah, both. Yeah, because you like I said before, your you cannot have ultimate expression of freedom with a limitation. So even your soul on the other side could step out of love, but then when you step out of love, you start to create your own hell. And this is where even when you get the near-death experience people too, based off their beliefs sometimes, based off their fear, it's fear. Like fear if they were brought up in Christianity and like you're going to go to hell forever if you do this. And based off of that as well, they temporarily experience their own prisons that I was talking about based off of fear until they say, I've had enough, I'm done with this. Or they reach out, and then when they break past the fear, then they pierce through, you could say, the ultimate veil of fear, and then they access all things again. So even them are experiencing their own temporary hell based off of fear, because fear is also, you could say, the opposite of love. When you step out of love, then you start fearing things as well. You start acting in greed. What is the abyss? A lot of people think the abyss is like, you get cast down into the abyss. The abyss is when the soul starts acting in a place outside of love and greed, because greed is an endless abyss that your soul then will experience. That's what the abyss is in that way, that context. So you could always step out of these things.
It does.
Okay.
But the part that I lost traction with was I thought the other side was completely unconditional love.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It is. But you could still create things outside of or stepping out of those things temporarily.
Temporarily.
Like, yeah. I mean, it's not a forever thing. I mean, you could say for the physical body, for the physical body here, when you step out of love, that starts to self-manifest itself into pain, fear, unloving. And so the body will start to express that as well. And stress in and of itself even kills the body too. Proven. And if you're in a state of love, it does not. But you could step out of that state, that field, on the other side as well, and you will experience what is considered a hellish experience. So it's reflected. Everything is in a state of unconditional love. Yes, that's true. But you could step out of that just due to your will and the freedom of the soul. Does that make sense at all, or is it?
It does. No, okay. You brought me along. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for clarifying that.